Alright guys, Jim Kiefer here. It's been a little while since I talked with the spirits about Nancy Guthrie, but we're approaching 2 months now. Button. Yeah, she's been missing I think 57 days now, so we're coming up on the 2 month mark. That's a long time, and very little hope left. Of course, the family is not going to give up hope ever until this case is solved and Nancy is brought home. Alright, the investigation's still ongoing. There's fewer people involved in the investigation than originally was, which makes their jobs even harder because they still have so many tips and leads to track down and rule out or see if they're relevant. Quite says, that's my ghost radar. They don't really have any new information to offer to the public. I'm sure there's a lot more going on behind the scenes, but the reporting is not that great on her anymore as far as the coverage goes, because there really isn't anything new to go on at this point. I mean, they are looking into things, and they have mentioned that. They're still trying to track down all the workers that are involved in nearby construction that was going on near Nancy's house, because there's so many people that were coming in and out at the time and had access to her, as far as her home and surroundings, knowing where she was and being able to keep an eye on things. It's easy to blend in there when you're planning an abduction. So they're looking into the workers that were at the construction site. They're also looking into that rental home that was nearby Nancy's home, that was occupied up until just before Nancy disappeared. So they're looking into every aspect that they can of this right now. They're also looking at what they said was a white car that was speeding or traveling fast on a road near Nancy's house, either on the night of the abduction or at some point prior to that. Now, the spirits said that it was a blue car, but it could also be that there's more than one car involved. Maybe a blue car was used during the surveillance phase, the planning phase, and then another vehicle was set to be used as the abduction car. It's possible. I mean, the spirits said the car was blue. Police are looking for a white vehicle that they saw on the video traveling on that road. Now, it seems like the greatest hope right now is with the genetic genealogy testing still going on. It takes time. There's, I guess, a lot of mixed DNA in their specimen, and it's going to take time to sort through that. So I think they're basing a lot of their faith on the outcome of this genealogy test. I mean, it has solved cases in the past that have lingered for long periods of time, many years in some cases, and they've been able to solve the case through the genetic genealogy. Hopefully over time this process will become easier to perform and the results will be quicker, but right now it is what it is, and it's taking time. There's definitely more than one person involved in the abduction. The spirits said up to 3. The police are thinking at least 2. Logistically, yeah, it makes a lot of sense between the planning phase, the information they got, and planning this out and carrying it out. The vehicles involved one person inside the house, and again, you only want one person inside the house if you're going to do some harm or damage or break in, even if there's more than one person involved, because the more people in the house, more chances the DNA or some type of evidence is going to get left behind. So you saw that person standing on the front porch, pretty calm, matter-of-factly. He wasn't in too big of a hurry. He had what looked like a radio in his pocket where he can communicate with the person inside or in the vehicle. And he was at the front door, but there was no break-in of the front door. There was no damage done. He was waiting patiently for the person inside to open that door. And apparently, when the person in the house was bringing Nancy out and opened that front door, and she saw that individual dressed up in the garb that he was, with that weapon hanging down in his crotch, a struggle ensued. She probably resisted, and I think she was quickly subdued. The spirit said that she was struck, blunt force trauma, and that probably accounted for the blood droplets that were on the porch there by the front door and leading out to a short area of the driveway. They probably had to carry her after she was being subdued. So definitely more than one person involved. Spirit set up to 3. And when you got more than one person involved in something like that, secrets can only be kept so long. More people are going to know about it. Somebody's going to get stopped or arrested, and in a plea deal or something, they're going to say, I have information for you. So in this case, if you drop the charges or go easy on you, whatever. But one person can keep a secret, but no, not 2 or more. No, all bets are off. So this case will be solved, whether it be through genealogy, whether we come across Nancy's remains, or by accident, or by some tips or spirit help. It will be solved. Yeah, they said the only way the person got in the house was through the back door, which was somewhat propped open, probably to make an easy exit without having to turn a knob. Once the door was opened, they just put something there so they could just push it open on the way out. Again, they didn't say anything there's no sign of a break-in entry. It's just that the access was probably through the back door, because that's the door that was open. And that's how the person got in the house, and then there was that guy out on the porch, waiting. Now, the police, too, recently had removed a note that was placed outside the front of Nancy's home. There's that little memorial there that concerned individual citizens and neighbors, brought flowers and notes of respect and concern. The police were tipped off by somebody who noticed one of the notes that had been there for a couple of days, had some information on it, like cryptic information, maybe a name of some individual, an agency, a fire department, a location, and a possible license plate number, which I think was CB2273, which is pretty close to what the spirits were telling me when they said Nancy Guthrie 7723. So there's a possible connection there. So I do have a few questions for the spirits, and we'll do that. This is going to be a brief session, so don't worry, it's not going to be a long enough. I'm out in the woods again. Actually, the sun is shining today. I'm getting some solar. It's peaceful out here. So here we go. Spirits, I've already talked to them and invited them in. I've only asked the good spirits to be here with me today. No evil entities or demons. Okay, spirits, you've been waiting for this. Are you ready to answer some questions? Okay, let's go. The police have been looking at a white car in a video that they saw going down the road from the empty house. All right, now just settle down. Now, what I want to know is, were there two vehicles involved in this, one for surveillance and one for the actual abduction? Was the blue car that you mentioned in the past used for surveillance of the property in Nancy's home? And then the white car used for the abduction? Also, spirits, I'm just curious right now. There's a lot of pressure being put on Sheriff Nanos. There's a lot of pressure being put on Sheriff Nanos to have him resign, and they're actually trying to do a recall on him. I don't know how far along that is right now, but when I looked the other day, it seemed to be moving along pretty good. He's been in his position a long time, and apparently there were some issues that should have been known when he first was applying for that job that would have disqualified him. So my question to you is, Sheriff Nanos going to resign? Okay, I'm going to try to listen to this when it's over, and hopefully I can get this whole laptop computer to work where I can put down what I believe I'm hearing for response. All right, Spirit, settle down now. Just be quiet a minute. Hey, be quiet. What is the meaning of the number 7723 for Nancy being missing? Is it a license plate number? That was pretty clear. I'll listen back and hopefully I'll be able to highlight it. Now, does Spirit, does the vacant house near Nancy's home have anything to do with her disappearance? Was it used in the surveillance? Is it connected in any way? Spirit, hang on. The police have been looking at local contractors and their employees, and they're also looking at where they dump their materials, at what dump site or landfill, where the construction debris is dumped. They're thinking, as far as possibilities, that Nancy could be at one of those sites. Is that a possibility? Is Nancy's remains at one of the waste sites or where they dump their construction debris? Barrett, is Nancy buried in a construction landfill? All right, Spirit. All right, I'm going to ask you a different question, so settle down. Just hear me out. Listen. I know it's nice to hear your voice, but just settle down for a minute. Nancy hadn't attended church since COVID. It was a few years. She would go online and watch the services online, usually at home or at a home of a friend. They had like a group. They would alternate going to houses and watching the service. Was anyone that was connected with the church or in Nancy's circle, did they have anything to do with her disappearance? Did anyone connected with the church have anything to do with Nancy's disappearance? And one last question here. No, they still haven't ruled out that Nancy was taken to Mexico. Was Nancy, when she was abducted, was she taken to Mexico? All right. And my last question for Nancy, if she's with us today, do you have a message that you would like to pass on to your family? Nancy, do you have a message for your family? Okay. I think I'm going to end that here. They're doing a lot of talking over each other today. I did ask them not to do that, but when they realize they're able to be heard and understood, sometimes they all jump on it and start talking over each other just so they can all be heard, but then they can't understand it. All right, yeah, there you go. All right, now stop for a moment. Hey, you can't stay here with me. You're going to have to go back to where you were. Okay? Got it? Oh, I thank you for coming, but you have to leave. You can't stay here with me. Okay? Go back to where you were. I'll call on you again. Goodbye.